loud voice. Should I use this anyway?
Yeah. Okay. Hello. Good afternoon, ladies. I hope you are all enjoying your day at Daytona Beach's second Spa for the Soul, and that you leave here rejuvenated and inspired. What does it mean, Spa for the Soul? Do our souls need massages and special treatments? The answer is yes. Our souls need maintenance and care too, and just like a manicure doesn't last forever, neither does a treat for our soul. Little by little, the soul strengthens itself. But unlike a pedicure massage, the maintenance is an investment. It is an everlasting beneficial treatment. My soul, my Jewish neshama, has been growing over the past years, small instances, and contributing to its overall well-being. When I was younger, we moved to Daytona Beach, Florida, after my parents got divorced. My mother, my two brothers, and myself started a new life here. We were enrolled in public school, and my mother went to find a job. As Ishkacha Pratis, divine providence would have it, she ended up working with the Maman family that we've ended up very close to. One of my first recollections of the Chabad was when I was 8 years old, and Eva Maman invited and encouraged my family to go to a Purim party, Purim in Hawaii. I remember thinking how cute the theme was and loved the kids' costumes and makeup. Eva made up a song for us chanting, "No more Halloween, only Chag Purim," all the way up to her store. And we thought about it, and we were like, we didn't really understand what we were saying, and to be honest, nobody stopped trick-or-treating. We still trick-or-treated for years and years after. But the idea that we knew that there was something called Purim was just another little bit of knowledge to a kid's mind. And this is where I met my first Jewish friends in town. I found out that they gathered here at the synagogue every Shabbos for services and a Kiddush for bringing, and decided I needed to go as my little heart yearned to be with them. I would walk or ride by my bike by myself to the synagogue on Saturdays, while my mom was at work and my brothers were at the beach or the movies. I took myself, through my own initiative, to a place I can fully understand and appreciate now. I would talk to Hashem the whole way to Shul. I would take the longer way because I wanted more time. And I would stare and listen with awe at the rabbi, at his many stories, rarely blinking, taking in every word that I feel like I still memorize till this day, and I might have heard them 4 or 5 years ago. Going to Shul made me feel like I belonged. My neshama felt at home. One particular story that I heard was that of a man that was raised as a Jew in Israel, looked as if everything was fine, but left his home, left his religion, and left his family. He considered himself an Arabic. He hung out with them, had an Arabic girlfriend, lived with them, breathed with them, did everything with them. And one day a pogrom broke out, and while him and his Arabic friends were sitting in a tent playing poker, a few of the Arabics, they heard a whole bunch of shootings outside. A few came in and said, "Is there any Jews in here? Is there any Jews in here?" And everyone's like, no, there's no Jews in here, because even though they knew he was Jewish, they didn't really consider him a Jew. So many years he passed by. And he stopped, and he let them go. He's like, no, he also said no. But when they left, he thought to himself and said, but I am Jewish. I am. What did he do? He got himself up. He went after him, knowing he was going to get killed, and said, I am a Jew. And he shot him dead. I took this story when I was younger as no matter what, you can't run away from your Jewish religion. No matter what, it is inside you whether you like it or not. It's there. There is no exit route. So whether you use it or know it or breathe it every day, you can't run away from it. And in public school, when I was doing everything that I was doing, I realized no matter what, I can't run away from it, and it gave me a lot of happiness that I can't, that there's something still in me. So, by middle school, it became harder to juggle this weekly ritual for coming to Shul every weekend, every Shabbos. With my first non-Jewish boyfriend, the growing need to becoming popular and cool and feeling bullied by other kids to be like them. Normal. It was very hard for me at school. I had to become more popular, never being able to decline a dare at school. Even if it bothered me really, really a lot on the inside, I would cry many times on my walk from the bus stop. Crying with no one to see because I didn't like to hurt others, and I did because I felt that was the need I needed to go through to be with the in crowd. I was one kid at home and another one at school. At school, it was about survival and being accepted. Thankfully, I still had a place where I was content, the synagogue. This is where I felt a sense of security and belonging. By middle school, I was day popular and outgoing, and as the teenage years kicked into full gear, I began to slack off. One day, my mother called from work while I was at home, chilling with friends, and she asked, "Are you going to shul?" And I answered, "Excuse me, you're at work and you're calling me?" So the next week, what did my mom do? She didn't say anything to me. She got up, I saw her on Saturday morning, and usually she would call me and say, "Okay, wake up, Nicole." She came in my room and I just looked at her in shock, like, "What are you doing in my room?" And she's like, "Get up, we're going to shul." And every single week, every single Shabbos, she was there with me since. And this was our mother-daughter tradition. Instead of every Sunday having our universal or going to the beach or going to the mall, Shabbos, the Fabringen, sitting and listening to the rabbi's stories, learning about our heritage and where our ancestors come from and who we really are, was our tradition. And we still drove and went shopping. It's not like we came to the Fabringen and didn't afterwards, like, "Oh, we need to go to the mall, we need to go to the mall." We did that, but it was still always there. My mother wanted the best for me. And as a single mom, she was trying to guide me down a good and straight path, but she wasn't into good things herself, nor was my brother, who ran off to Vegas to get married. So, for many years, I picked up mixed signals in both an unsettled home and a very unsettling society. The one thing my mother pushed so much for was for us to be at the Shabbos table every single Friday night. We didn't dare miss it. Even if it meant we were lighting candles, hearing Kiddush, having a meal, and then going to the clubs afterwards. She didn't care what we were doing. You are sitting here. I don't care what prom, I don't care what football game, I don't care who of your friend is in trouble. You're sitting here, you're eating, and if you ate fast, you're going to sit another 5 minutes. So, in high school, 9th grade, I'm pretty sure it was 9th grade, I already had a fake ID that granted me access to all the places I shouldn't have been. I was never with the right crowd, as they did not bring the best in me. There was a misconception at the high school I went to. I made straight A's. And as most of the students I surrounded myself with, we were all doing well academically. Their personal life, though, was not positive. The things I overheard in the hallways and bathrooms significantly impacted me, whether I realized myself and whether I liked it. Even if you think you're so strong and you're like, "I would never in my life do what these kids are doing. They're so, like, what are they thinking? They don't see, they don't have any brains." But no matter what, day after day, just going to the bathroom, just going to get a drink of water, just going to get your snack, just going to sit in the class and waiting for the teacher to start, you're hearing drugs, sex, pregnancy. It was the topics of discussion. There was nothing else but that. This shouldn't be surprising because nearly 72% of students consume alcohol before graduating high school. 46% have sexual intercourse before graduating. And half of the 19 million cases of STDs occurring yearly happen to people in the ages of 15 to 24. One evening, while I was sitting in Olive Garden, Rebitz and Didi called and invited me to see Teen, a Chabad program for Jewish teenagers in public school. I agreed to go, but I can't say I was too thrilled, whether you know that or not. Since I committed to Didi to attend also the Shabbaton in New York, I went ahead and explained to my then non-Jewish boyfriend Eric that I would be shutting off my phone for 25 hours. how I was able to explain it to him was very difficult. I texted and I said, so Eric, I'm not going to be able to talk to you, text you, nothing for 25 hours. And he's like, why? So I said, it's just something Jews do, I don't know. So he's like, well, if it's something Jews do, why have you never done it? So I'm like, I didn't answer. I looked at it, I looked at my phone, and I was like, I just threw it. I was like, I don't want to see it. I didn't have an answer. Because it was so true. He's telling me it's something Jews do, but I didn't have an answer. So, I went ahead on the weekend that changed my life, that brought all past events together in a neat little package. What impacted me most was not the hundreds of kids that were just like me together, but Rabbi Shmuel and Didi's dedication to the kids. They were so involved in our well-being. I observed them sharing their parenting responsibilities, passing their own babies back and forth to one another. After a while, they took care of us as if we were their own kids. So I join you all today without my mother here, or any blood family at all. You know now that this is not unusual for me, contemplating Hashem's master plan and the beauty of God. I realized that with every step I had a choice. If it was the right people that were around at the right time, or the story whose moral hit me to the core. Maybe the rabbi's look of understanding, or the kindness and truth I saw around me. It was all helping me and guiding me to choose the truth. So I forewent the possibility of becoming prom queen to becoming a Queen Esther. To follow in the footsteps of our matriarchs, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, and Leah. What will God ask me in 120 years? Was I Nicole that turned into her surroundings? Or was I the Nicole that turned away her surroundings and chose the path of Torah and mitzvahs? Today I'm a proud student in a girls' seminary, Mechona Alta in Sfat. It wasn't easy, considering my background, and I can't say it was. But what kept me going was a story a friend told me about a chassid named a big rabbi named Reb Zusha. And he was sitting and he was about to pass away. All of his students were around him. And they looked at him and they said, Reb Zusha, are you not afraid that the heavenly court is now going to judge you? You're not afraid? So what did he say? He said, I'm not afraid that they're not going to ask me, why wasn't I as great as Moshe Rabbeinu, as Moses, or as strong as Shimshon, or as wise as Shlomo HaMelech. What I'm afraid is if they're going to ask me, Reb Zusha, why weren't you Reb Zusha? And I took this, and a friend told me this in seminary, and it carried me the entire way. Because I didn't need to become the best Chani, or the best Didi, or the best anyone. I needed to become the best me. So if my point in time was to only keep Shabbos and, to dress more modestly, then that was me. That was my best me. And if her best her is doing way more and doing outreach, then that's her best her. But it's the same level. There's no more or less in the person because you are your best you. You don't need to become the best girl next to you because you are you because that's who you're supposed to be. Overall, Mechon Alta was an amazing place. I still wonder how, and just thank God, seriously thank God, thank the Rebbe for bringing me here and bringing me to Mechon Alta and just how everything came so quickly but so about time that, thank God, it just came. And I really just want to thank the Rabbi and Rebbetzin Zagwe for doing everything for me, for always putting in my head, Nicole, you a proud Jew? Yeah, Rabbi, I'm a proud Jew. And every time I heard it, so it made me proud. It made me proud. Instead of saying in 4th grade, yeah, I'm Italian, I started to say, no, I'm a Jew. So also Didi for just always being there for me, for always having what to say, and never letting me down. And I feel like feeling who I am. And Eva and Penny, Maman, for just taking me and my family in your arms and never letting go. Because you could have. You can easily let go, but you chose not to.